Because of course games open up more connection between you all. You know, particularly in a world now, you know, where many children are utterly flooded in schoolwork, you know, so often formally learning, you know, with all these busy schedules and social lives, you know, and all those other wonderful things, you know, and as parents managing all of that, you know, and having your own lives and planning, and, you know, it's so easy for life to just take this kind of routine, monotonous pathway together. Not to mention how everything is so very shaped and dominated with virtual life now. You know, and this is us as adults, let alone children, you know, with their smartphone games and gaming online and children's YouTube and what else, consoles and social media. Goodness, gives me a headache just thinking about it all. But all those, you know, incredible things they have access to, you know, which are amazing, you know, and do add to children's rich, full lives. However, the flip side of that, you know, and what can be a little sad about the entire thing is, you know, as much as that connects us to the outside world, you know, can so often disconnect us, you know, to the people actually around us, you know, the world around us, our own family. But regardless, you know, whether any of those things are an actual factor for you and your family, you know, the simple fact remains, you know, no matter who you are, where you're from, whatever your background is or your setup, I couldn't give a monkey's. You know, if you are an adult with a child, then, you know, sitting together of an evening or, you know, any moment the feeling takes, you know, no distractions, no white noise, you know, and having that face-to-face contact or eye contact, you know, which is known to connect people, you know, and playing cards or something else prehistoric like that, you know, will bring you closer to each other. It just does. It opens up conversation. It opens up, you know, laughter and relaxation. It opens up lightness between you, lightheartedness. You know, your sense of humour shines through, presuming you don't take it too seriously, which I do, to be fair, but even that can be hilarious. And, you know, dare I say it, bring more banter, you know, as a family. You know, just being able to laugh at yourselves and each other a little, you know, which just loosens everything up, doesn't it? Because what does it say when you take life more lightly? You know, that it's okay to enjoy things, you know, enjoy life. You know, that you don't have to take everything so blinking seriously all the time. You know, and that's an incredible lesson for children to learn, you know, and from you, their parents, you know, in this role modeling way, you know, which is always the best way. You know, and when life does take its natural twists and turns, which inevitably it will, you know, children will know to lean on that sense of humour a little, you know, and carry right on forward. And it opens you up to being more childlike again, you know, which can be a wonderful tonic, you know, and you forget about work and you forget about all the other stuff, and you're just kind of present in the moment, free. You know, and the same goes for them, to be honest. You know, when I used to work with teenagers, you know, we'd always play a game during the evening meal, like a non-equipment game, so we could, you know, carry on eating. But it was just wonderful, you know, and the kids, you know, they utterly adored it. And, you know, these weren't little ones used to playing silly games like that all the time. You know, these were teenagers and far too cool for all of that. But you would be surprised, you know, it's actually really refreshing for children and teenagers, you know, to play these kinds of games, you know, with you guys, their parents. You know, and I'm sure, you know, as you have all these pressures in your life, I'm sure I don't need to tell you, no, teenagers do. You know, so to come home and escape from all that and play a silly little game with their family, you know, and get some good conversation and you know, some laughter flowing, you know, that's a lovely thing for them to experience. You know, with us, it just became this springboard, you know, to share stories and, you know, ask about each other's lives. And, you know, and the tone was just so positive, you know, that we spoke about all these lovely things that we certainly otherwise wouldn't, you know, like the song we're loving at the moment, or, you know, the interesting thing we saw on YouTube, or that funny something that happened today. So if you're someone that believes, oh, kids today, all they want to do is play Xbox or something of equal footing, then take that out of your mind immediately, because that's certainly not true. You know, you can start doing this today. Because sometimes we get stuck into these routines, how was your day? Fine. How was your day? Fine. And you barely share like great stuff because, it's all just so robotic. And, I have no doubt that you want to know everything about your child's day. Absolutely. But, children get into these habits, and unless they're feeling super excited or, a particular something sticks out in their mind, like in that moment, then they're quite likely, are often to forget. And goodness knows it can be like getting blood out of a stone sometimes, can't it? Trying to get children to tell you everything about their day. Yet strangely, when we're currently feeling an emotion, like amidst a family game at dinner time, fun and excitement and joy, corresponding memories attached to such emotions are easier to access somehow. So, when you're feeling happy, remembering happy moments is much more natural. So then connecting just becomes this lovely ritual, that everybody enjoys. Also, although you may lead games as the adult, playing family games together, brings you all to the same level almost, where there's such a lovely sight to your children seeing you lose, or them losing and you winning. And yes, I do fully advocate not letting your children win constantly, or perhaps you crazy celebrating when you win, or all those other lovely things that come from playing games together. Because essentially, in those moments, your children glimpse who you really are as an actual person, and build up a more well-rounded, version of who their parent is, as an actual human being, that's real with feelings and emotions, and, and a complete and utter person, outside of just being their parent, that takes them places and buys them things and teaches them stuff, and loves them no matter what. Finally, you do very much find that families that create family game playing together, as a kind of lifestyle choice almost, often continue this, and when the children are well into adulthood, which will always remain this kind of sweet, silly, shared bonding experience, that everybody treasures, as some of their most beautiful moments and memories together. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this. Lots of love to you and your families. Bye bye.